everyone, Anne from the Sussex Handmade Soap Company here. Welcome back to our channel, and today we are going to be rocking your world with oranges. You better believe this outfit wasn't coincidental. We are going to be creating a soap using completely natural ingredients to scent it and colour it. And it is going to be divine. It's going to smell like oranges. It's going to look like oranges. It's even going to sound like oranges. Okay, so I know a joke's not meant to be funny if you have to explain the punchline, but just in case you're wondering, the music in that little clip there was a tango. But back to the soap. Today, as I said, we are creating a natural soap and we are going to be using different clays and different substances to colour it, so there'll be no artificial colourants whatsoever in it. And the design we are going for is a loaf design like this. There you go, there is my artistic talents for you to admire. It's going to have an orange base, and then on it we are going to pipe an orange blossom tree design. So we have got a branch, some flowers, little orange blossom flowers, and some leaves. So it's fairly simple to make the actual base of the soap. It's going to be the piping on the top that's harder, but at the end of the day, hopefully we'll end up with something that vaguely resembles this, that smells like oranges and has the pretty orange blossom piped design. So let's move swiftly on and make that soap. So first things first, we've got all the natural powders and clays here that we're going to use to be colouring the soap. We have got some white kaolin clay that is going to be used on the top to create the flower designs. We have got a mix here of spirulina powder and French green clay that's going to be used to create the leaves. Here we have got some cocoa powder, which is going to create the tree stalk. What do trees have? Trunks. Tree trunk. The tree trunk, the branch. That's the word I was looking for, the branch. And lastly, we have got some turmeric powder, which is going to be used to colour the actual soap. That's hopefully going to give us a nice orange colour. And I'm going to mix a tablespoon of warm water into each of these powders. And that's going to help them combine and mean that when we add them to the soap batter, they will hopefully be incorporated a little bit better and not be too lumpy. For the design on top, I don't mind if things like the cocoa powder aren't incorporated fully, and that does leave little lumps or discoloration, because as with nature, it's never all one colour. So if we get different colours of cocoa powder running through the branch, then that's hopefully going to make it look a little bit more realistic. So all we're doing now is using the chopstick to mix all the powders into the water. And there we have it. I added another tablespoon of warm water to the turmeric because it was looking more like a paste and I wanted it to be a little bit more runny so it incorporates well. But they're all done now, so let's put these to one side and get on with making the soap. So in here we have our mixture of oils. The solid oils have been melted down and we have added the liquid ones into them. So now all we need to do is take our cooled lye water, which is just here, and mix it in with the oils. And after mixing, I'm going to use a stick blender to bring it just past emulsion. I don't want it to be at trace just yet. I just want to get them emulsified so they're not going to separate out. And then we're going to separate off about 500 grams of the batter, which we're going to use for the detail on top of the soap at the end. So we're just going to do a combination of stirring and blending. So we've separated out just under 500 grams in this jug. It's very full, but that's okay because it's going to be getting split down further later on. And we are left with what is going to form the main body of the soap. And this is what we want to colour orange with the turmeric powder that we have here. And I'm sieving it through because turmeric can be fairly lumpy and I don't want to get too many lumps into this part of the soap. So I'm going to mix this in now, and I'm going to use the stick blender just to combine it, because this part of the soap can be fairly thick now. We want to bring this to a trace now and get it into the mould. And today's essential oil blend is some sweet orange, some cedarwood, and some mei-chang, or Litsea cubiba as it's also known. The sweet orange is going to give it a lovely citrusy scent, but being a top note and a citrus oil, it's not going to last too well on its own and the scent might fade, so we need to anchor it down a little bit, which is why we're also using the mei-chang and the cedarwood atlas. The mei-chang is a lovely citrusy oil as well, so that's going to go in really nicely, and the cedarwood is just going to hopefully pull it all together. So we're going to get all of those in there like so, and I'm just going to use the spatula to work them in. Yeah, so we have combined them and we are just about ready to get it split up into the mould now. But before that, I just want to take the tiniest amount, and I mean literally like a tablespoon tiny, and separate it into another little pot which we're going to use when we decorate the flowers on top of this design later. They're going to form the stamen and the pollen. And that is literally all I'm going to need later on. So I'll put that to one side and grab the mould. One mould. And as you can see, I've already actually marked where the bars are going to be cut, purely because the design we're doing on top is going to be one whole design. But if we're doing individual flowers and leaves, you want to make sure that each bar has got its own little pretty picture. We don't want any without flowers or without leaves, because that would be boring. So we've marked it up so that we can see exactly where each bar is going to be cut. And now we're just going to tip the base into the soap mould. And I think that is about as good as we're going to get it, and I'm happy with how that looks. That's looking pretty nice and smooth and perfect for us to start piping the design on top. So I'm going to put this just to one side, and we're going to bring back this jug of batter here, and now we are going to further split it down kind of equally into 3. So into these 3 jugs, we are going to put the colorants that we mixed up earlier. And I'm going to mix these all in now. And I don't know about you, but that looks like a tree bark to me. Tree bark? Tree branch? And now that's all combined, comes the fun bit. And by the fun bit, what I mean is the scary bit, where it could all go horribly wrong and this whole video will be for nothing. I'm going to take this piping bag here. I'm just going to tip the brown batter into here. And these are horrible plastic piping bags. I bought them probably 4 or 5 years ago. And when they've all run out, because I was about 500 on the roll, when they've all run out, we are going to be looking at getting reusable ones. And now that's all in there, what I'm going to do is snip the end off and try and pipe the branch along the top of the soap. I'm going to start down here, and I'm just going to pipe it a very thin line just up to the top. And then what we're going to do is pipe little twiglets coming out. So there we have the initial tree design. And what I'm going to do now is put it to one side because I do want it to firm up a little bit before I start adding the extra detail. Next is going to be the orange blossom flowers that we're going to pop on. The soap is thickening up now. I don't know if you can see that, but it is getting a lot thicker. And I'm going to do the same as I did with the brown. Into the piping bag. Ready to create those orange blossom flowers. I can't say blossom. I've been stumbling over the word blossom every time I've said it in this video. And that's fairly nicely set now. I have got the white in the piping bag. And now we just need to pipe a few flowers on the tips of some of these branches. We're not going to do all of them because some of them will have leaves. And an orange blossom has 5 petals. There we go. So, third colour, same as the other two, except Wayne has just showed me his tip of the day. A pint glass. Put the piping bag, before it's been cut obviously, into a piping, put the piping bag into a piping bag, put the piping bag into a pint glass. And then, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, you're right, Wayne, that's much easier than trying to hold it and balance it. Why didn't I think of that? So the green is going in. Our orange blossom leaves can be created. And I've got to be honest, this little bit here where I dripped is really annoying me. Haha, got it. And the last thing we need to do is go back to this orange that we saved, which is now, as you can see, very thick indeed, like pudding. And I'm just going to take the tip of the skewer and a tiny bit of orange, just to create, if it will come off, some stamen, a little bit of colour in the centre. And there we have it. And so we're going to wait for about 24 hours and then we are going to come back. We are going to cut this up and see how each individual bar looks, because obviously this is the design as a whole, but nobody buys a whole soap like this. They're going to be buying individual bars. So hopefully when it's chopped, we're not going to lose the effect and we're still going to be looking pretty. And I'm going to try and make this go through gel, so I'm going to put it in a cardboard box, cover it with a towel, leave it somewhere nice and warm for 24 hours, and then come back and chop it all up. So it's been 24 hours now. As you can see, I am still rocking the orange attire, and in that time frame the soap has hardened up. It is now ready for cutting. I'm going to show you the bar, we're going to chop it all up, and I'll show you what the finished bars look like. So let's see that soap, please. So this is how the loaf has turned out. And as you can see, the brown cocoa powder line has faded slightly. It's a slightly more orangey brown now, but that's okay because it's still a distinct difference between the colour of the soap base and the actual line up here. And I'd like to also point out at this point that I am not an artist. I'm sure somebody with a lot more skill could pipe a much prettier design, but on the whole I'm happy with how this has turned out. And also, these little bits here, I did explain in the video yesterday, but then I edited it and cut it out. These are buds. They are unopened flowers. They are not just splodges of soap batter from where I got bored or lazy.
Eggs and wasabi.
It's not eggs and wasabi. It looks a little bit like eggs and wasabi. What we're going to do now, I'm going to chop up the loaf. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the bars and how they've worked out individually. And I will probably show you the best couple of bars and then subtly hide the ones that haven't worked out so well. So that's the bar all chopped up, and let me show you a couple of my favourite ones. I think this would be my actual favourite. I really like the way that you've just got the leaves here and the whole flower here. And I also quite like this one here, for the same reason. You've got the nice whole flower, the little bud and a little piece of leaf here. So I think that one's quite pretty too. I'm happy with how they've come out. And if you look at the actual bar as well, you can see the flecks of turmeric running through it, which I think gives it quite a nice effect. And just because I don't actually believe in hiding things that don't work so well, let me show you these two. These are my least favourite ones. Purely because although I tried to keep everything in proportion and everything in the right place when nothing was going to be chopped in half, on this one here, there's no open flower, which is disappointing, and on this one here, again, no open flower, but one that has been partially chopped in half. So thanks for watching today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you a few ideas of things you can do if you are a soap maker. If you have enjoyed it, we would love you to like and subscribe. And if you want to head over to our website where we actually sell some of our soaps, the link is here, or the address is here. And we also give a 20% discount code, which will be here, that you can enter on checkout. But I think that is it for now. It has been fun doing this soap, and we shall hopefully see you next time.